Today, I'll break down hot content, 6 secrets to ignite content marketing. The author is Mark Fisher, a top American marketing practitioner with over 30 years of experience. He has provided marketing consulting services for Dell, Johnson & Johnson, and the U.S. Air Force. He's also published the social media bestseller The Twitter Way and maintains a blog. His blog, Growth, is one of the most influential marketing blogs globally. Let's discuss 3 parts. First, why doesn't good content naturally spread? Second, what are the 2 core strategies for making content go viral? Third, how can we use 2 techniques to amplify viral content further? Let's look at the first point. Why doesn't good content naturally spread? There's a common belief in marketing that content is king. If you can write engaging, headline-grabbing content that amazes people, it will surely attract attention. Like the saying, build it and they will come. Many believe great writers naturally gain recognition through their work. After hearing these views repeatedly, we develop a misconception, thinking that creating good content automatically leads to viral success on social media. However, there was a viral article titled 2 Phrases That Killed Business, which challenged the very notion of build it and they will come. Why does good content still need promotion? The content is king principle only works under specific conditions, namely, when there isn't an abundance of quality content in the market. In the early days of the internet, when there were fewer professional content creators, a well-written article could easily spread. But today, we live in an age of information overload, where the internet is flooded with content, making it difficult for users to distinguish truly good content. The author mentions a mid-sized sports product company in the Pacific Northwest. Looking at their marketing efforts over the past year, they consistently produced high-quality, original content, creating numerous consumer-focused stories. The company reported on athletes' experiences and invited them to be brand ambassadors. They actively engaged with fans through Weibo, video platforms, and social media. Within 3 years, their online following doubled, and they hired a full-time social media manager, a significant investment for a company with only 17 employees. But do you know what happened? In the past 9 months, their organic reach on Facebook dropped by 80%. Organic reach means people viewing your content without paid advertising. What does this tell us? In today's digital explosion era, even if you work hard and create high-quality content daily, it's still challenging to get noticed. As Luo Jinyu mentioned in his New Year's speech, knowledge services compete in the battlefield of time. Each person has very limited time to spend on content daily, never exceeding 24 hours. The collision between limited attention and almost infinitely growing content creates a unique phenomenon of our time, which the author calls content shock. Content shock occurs when content creation, articles, images, and videos grows exponentially while consumer reading demand remains relatively stable, leading to content oversaturation. Predictions suggest that online information will increase 5 to 10 times from 2015 to 2020. What does this mean? Even in 2017, the content produced online in 24 hours would take more than a lifetime to read, and this amount will continue to grow exponentially in the coming years. Against this backdrop, simply relying on content as king won't guarantee success. Since content shock has become a reality, how can we make content go viral? The author suggests 2 core elements. First, we must emphasize that in the age of content shock, quality content remains important. It's still a prerequisite for going viral. However, good content alone isn't enough. Marketing professionals who create good content and distribute it through various channels hoping for widespread attention find fewer opportunities for success. To make content go viral, 2 additional core strategies are necessary. 1. Embedding sharing DNA. 2. Cultivating quality followers. Let's look at embedding sharing DNA first. While content shock is real, we still see many articles going viral. How do they achieve this? Where do people find these articles? Global market research firm eMarketer provides some insight. 70% of consumers decide to purchase a product after seeing friends share it on social media. In other words, if you want your article to become viral, the key isn't the open rate, comments, likes, or tips. It's how many people are willing to share your article. Content that gets likes and tips won't necessarily be shared, and without sharing, your content can't go viral. So while content marketing appears to be about content, The real value lies in virality. Content sharing is crucial, but getting users to actively share content isn't easy. Research shows that on Twitter, users view an average of 318 tweets before sharing one, while on Facebook, only 0.1% of users are willing to share articles. Such low sharing rates aren't good news for content creators. However, every coin has two sides. Looking at it differently, we can learn from content that manages to break through the competition and get widely shared. Don't these successful pieces possess certain unique qualities that make people want to share them? This is the key to content creation. The author calls these sharing-promoting elements sharing genes. To make your content stand out, embedding these sharing genes is crucial. How do you embed these sharing genes? The author provides many examples, with 3 methods being particularly insightful. Let's look at the first one. Your topic should align with easily shareable subjects. Whether people want to share an article depends not just on its quality, but also on the topic and even the industry it covers. In other words, the topic itself greatly influences your content's reach. A U.S. marketing company found that content related to certain industries spreads more easily, such as agriculture, music, architecture, sports, fashion, and design. Including these industries in your content increases its shareability. However, if your article is about household appliances, telecommunications products, or daily necessities, your reach and readership might be lower. The key point is that readership might not correlate strongly with content quality, but rather with the topic and industry covered. Marketers call this phenomenon topic talkability. If you want your content to spread widely, consider integrating it with more easily shareable topics. Durex is a classic example of this marketing approach. While contraceptives aren't typically an easily shareable topic, they consistently manage to cleverly tie their content to highly discussable subjects. For instance, sports is a highly shareable topic, and during the 2016 Olympics, when shooter Zhang Mingxue won China's first gold medal, Durex released a creative poster titled "Good Shot." They designed their product to look like a gold medal, successfully linking their brand to a highly talkable sports topic, which quickly became trending news. Widespread distribution. In low engagement content, embedding sharing elements is crucial. The second method to make your content shareable is to give it social currency attributes. What does this mean? It's about whether your shared content can help the sharer showcase something or prove a point. Think of the content you share like the clothes you wear. Wearing a suit shows you take an event seriously and consider it formal. Dressing in a bohemian style might express rebellion. Similarly, the content you share reveals who you are. Look at social media. The older generation tends to share health and wellness tips, while Gen Z and millennials often share pop culture and anime content. As a content creator, you must consider, can your content become like clothing for those who share it? Can it give them an identity? Research shows that on social networks, people predominantly share content that relates to themselves, their emotions, insights, feelings, and personal achievements. Look at corporate executives. They often share posts like, "Good employees complete tasks with full dedication, details determine success," or 8 ways employees impress their boss. Why do they share these? It's like their professional attire. They want to convey these messages to employees indirectly when they can't say it directly. Meanwhile, employees often share different content. There are no bad employees, only poor managers. 70% of talented employees leave because of mediocre management. Though they might hide these posts from their bosses, this contrast in sharing patterns shows different groups using different social currencies. When creating content, consider, what identity does my content provide to its sharers? The New York Times, one of the world's leading content producers, found 5 main reasons why people share content. First, is the content practical? People like sharing helpful information, like time management tips or life hacks. Second, people share content that defines their identity and shows what they care about. For instance, pet lovers sharing animal welfare articles or parents sharing scientific parenting advice. These typically carry such attributes. Third, people are willing to share content that strengthens or cultivates relationships. For instance, they'll share an article written by their boss or repost content from friends to show support. Fourth, people share content that gives them a sense of personal achievement. If an article mentions you, you'll definitely share it. Similarly, if it's about your family, company, or hometown, you're likely to share it. As some joke, newspapers nowadays have only two types of readers: those who are written about and those who wrote it. Fifth, people tend to share content that aligns with their ideals or brand perspectives. So if you want your content to spread, consider whether it triggers emotional responses in these 5 ways. If people finish reading and feel, "This is exactly what I wanted to express," or "This is amazing," or "I learned something new," these emotional connections lead to success. A research organization analyzed over 1,400 successful marketing cases and found that purely emotional content spreads better than purely rational content. Good writing and content alone don't guarantee shares. Only content that triggers emotions gets shared. This is a core attribute of viral content. Finally, the third method of embedding viral potential is incorporating personality, conveying your unique tone and brand. For example, which title would you rather share? 3 corn recipes or How Corn Saved My Boring Dinner? Clearly the latter, because it reveals personality and uniqueness. Content with embedded sharing potential naturally motivates people to share it. This is the first key factor in making content shareable. The second key factor is cultivating quality followers. Why is this important? Because when you publish an article, having a group of people who actively help spread and share your content ignites the first step of your viral plan. Speaking of which, if you're familiar with The Tipping Point, you'll recognize it discusses how to create trends. It mentions 3 laws. First, make your content sticky. Second, find key spreaders. And third, create an environment conducive to spreading. The power of context. The books Contagious and The Tipping Point are best read together. Embedding viral elements is essentially about making our content sticky. When it comes to content distribution, cultivating quality followers is similar to finding key influencers in viral events, as mentioned in The Tipping Point. Content creators know that followers are important, but which followers truly matter? And how do you nurture these important followers? Many people are unclear about this. The author first dispels a misconception. For content distribution, the number of followers isn't particularly crucial. What really matters is having a core group of deeply loyal supporters. In today's digital landscape, celebrities easily amass hundreds of thousands or even millions of followers, but their relationships with these followers are often superficial, and their actual influence doesn't match their follower count. I've seen social media accounts with millions of followers get only 2 shares on a post. The author shares a telling example. A well-known American content creator with over 500,000 Twitter followers launched a charity campaign that reached an estimated 3 million people. The result? A mere $1 in donations. If I were that content creator, I'd be devastated. However, the author contrasts this with his own experience from 2008. With just 70,000 followers, his blog post raised over $6,000 in 48 hours. The stark difference? While the prominent content creator had many followers, the author had genuine supporters who would amplify his message immediately. There's another common misconception about quality followers. We often think they're the ones who interact and respond most frequently. The author argues this isn't necessarily true. Your most loyal supporters might be those who never message you or rarely post. Their importance isn't measured by their online activity. They might share your content in private conversations or recommend you during face-to-face interactions. So, quality followers are crucial. But how do you transform a casual follower into a quality supporter? Before addressing this, the author illustrates what quality followers look like through an example. Since the author focuses on marketing content, many of his followers are marketing professionals. One such follower, Charlene, was already an influential PR professional in America. He himself is the CEO of a consulting firm. Yet, this industry professional shares the author's blog content every day and has even set up automatic reposting. As soon as the author posts something, his account automatically shares it. Imagine that, a public relations professional having an almost religious trust in the author. The author says these are truly quality followers. They believe in you wholeheartedly and would follow you to the ends of the earth. If you have 100 such followers, your influence becomes significant. How did the author cultivate such quality followers? He believes there's a method to nurturing premium followers, which follows a diehard fan upgrade strategy. He categorizes fan enthusiasm into 4 levels. Non-fans, those who aren't followers yet; casual fans, loyal fans, and diehard fans. Diehard fans are the premium followers we mentioned earlier. Your task is to implement marketing strategies that gradually elevate followers' enthusiasm until they become diehard fans. It's important to understand that followers at different stages have different needs, requiring different marketing approaches. For non-fans, your primary goal is to make them aware of you through marketing and promotion. When they follow your social media accounts, they become casual fans. That's the first stage. To convert casual fans into loyal fans, focus on increasing their content consumption frequency, getting them to engage more with your posts and content. This requires careful attention to topic selection, posting frequency, and content planning. You can provide them with periodic ebook bundles or online videos. The more they consume your content, the better. Regular consumption often leads to loyal following. The key to upgrading loyal fans to diehard fans lies in building psychological identification, creating a deeper connection with your brand or company. This is the most challenging aspect of converting premium followers and requires persistent marketing efforts. You can't create diehard fans by simply offering endless discounts. Instead, you need to communicate your values and share your vision. When you and your followers share common hopes, you establish an emotional connection that strengthens this identification. The author cites the Chicago Cubs as a perfect example. Despite not winning a World Series championship since 1908, prior to their 2016 victory, they maintained some of the world's most devoted fans. Even during losing streaks, their stadium remained packed, with fans showing unwavering support and spending millions of dollars each season. It's remarkable how such a historically unsuccessful team could maintain such dedication. Why is it so popular? The author explains that part of the reason is the emotional investment fans have in their team. Another crucial reason is that the team consistently gives fans hope. At the beginning of each spring season, at least for those first few days, all teams start on equal footing, and fans always maintain hope. If not this year, then next year. As long as the team's players and owners build confidence by showing their dedication and effort, the fans will stay loyal. So, to cultivate diehard fans, you must share common hopes with them. This concludes the second part about two core elements of creating viral content: embedding sharing genes and building quality fans. Of course, besides these 2 points, if we can combine other strategies to amplify the momentum of trending topics, that would be even better. This brings us to our final topic: 2 techniques to amplify trending momentum. The book discusses many marketing strategies for creating trends, but 2 techniques are particularly important. The first is how to get endorsements from opinion leaders, and the second is how to build trust with your fans. Let's discuss the first technique: getting endorsements from opinion leaders. This is often a challenging task for many content creators. While it would be great to get recommendations from celebrities and influential people, what if we don't know them? The author suggests 4 steps. First, carefully consider and create a list of opinion leaders who can genuinely help you. Don't just reach out to any celebrity. Find influential people who are experts in your field and relevant to your target audience. After creating this list, the second step is to make yourself known to them, rather than just knowing about them. You might wonder how to do this without a direct connection. The solution is to actively promote these opinion leaders. You can share their articles on social media daily and summarize their viewpoints. You can recommend their books and articles on your own platforms, send them private messages, or comment on their posts. You can also share your articles that reference their ideas, asking permission to cite their viewpoints. If you consistently promote them thoughtfully, they'll likely notice you, establishing an initial connection. Once you're on their radar, you can move to the third step: making your first request. At this stage, avoid asking for direct promotions like, "Please share my article," or "Please recommend me." That would ruin everything. Since trust hasn't been established yet, ask for professional advice instead, focusing on topics they care about and emphasize mutual benefits. For example, you might say, "I strongly agree with a particular point in your article, but I have some different perspectives. I've written a professional article and would appreciate your guidance. To respect your time and expertise, we'll acknowledge your guidance in the final publication and compensate you for your time investment." This kind of professional, mutually beneficial request is more likely to succeed. It's easy to win experts' favor when you engage with them in genuine, equal conversations while maintaining a respectful yet confident demeanor. This helps build deeper connections, and once established, you can proceed to the final step, making your second request. When your professional article is complete, you can say, "Thank you for your guidance throughout. The article is ready for publication. Would you mind sharing it?" Most thought leaders won't refuse such a request at this stage. In fact, the American software company Groove successfully utilized these 4 steps to quickly establish connections with numerous thought leaders. Their social media presence gained rapid traction in their professional field within days of launching. If you apply these 4 steps skillfully, they'll prove invaluable in building relationships with thought leaders. Let's explore the second technique, building trust with followers. While this can be challenging, applying the principle of reciprocity can accelerate trust building. American media mogul Gary Vaynerchuk is known for asking his Twitter followers, "How can I help you?" He follows through by taking genuine action. He's delivered pizza to followers late at night, sent spices to those who ran out, and brought favorite burgers to someone craving them. Through these consistent acts of kindness, Gary built deep trust with his followers. You might wonder if this approach leaves you vulnerable to exploitation. While some people might take advantage, the psychological principle of reciprocity generally prevails. When you help others and establish goodwill, followers become more likely to support and purchase your products. Gary's simple formula is give, 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 then ask. The key is ensuring your giving comes from a place of genuine desire to help. In the long run, you'll see returns. The author believes we're in an era of content shock, where only shareable content holds value. Content marketing's worth lies in its shareability. To make your content viral, focus on 2 core elements: embedding sharing triggers in your content and building a quality follower base. Beyond these points, mastering 2 techniques is crucial. First, following the 4 steps to build relationships with thought leaders. Second, using reciprocity to establish trust with users. Understanding these methods and techniques will help your content go viral more effectively and spread rapidly across social networks, ensuring your quality content reaches its maximum potential for impact.